Stop infantilizing yourself with your fat friends. What's up, everybody? It's your favorite hood healer. It's your favorite hood high priestess. It's your favorite motivational dominatrix. It's your favorite auntie, captain, goddess, king in the place to be. And I want to welcome you back to my channel. You could be anywhere in the world. As a matter of fact, you are somewhere in the world, and you're also sharing a little bit of time and a little bit of place with me. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling this, if you're feeling me, make sure you hit the like button, baby. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, darling. And make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with all of these here shenanigans. Now, let's get into today's video, because as you already see, I'm coming in hot, baby, and we're gonna get all the way into something serious today. Shall we begin? All right, y'all, as you see from the title, as you saw from the way I busted in this video, we getting into it today. Stop infantilizing yourself in order to demand labor from your fat friend, okay? And also, if you are the fat friend in this situation, I want you to stop and take a look at your friend group. I want you to stop and take a look at your family group. I want you to stop and take a look at your coworker group and see if you've got one of these types of folks hanging around you, okay? Go through your support system. Go through your community with a fine-tooth comb, honey. Go through it, all right? So, before we get all the way deep into it, I'm going to let you know that this is going to be a vlog-style video, baby. I got a lot to do today, so I'm not going to sit down in this house talking to you. I got some things to do. As we speak, I'm getting ready to pack my bag to go see a client. I have an energetic cleansing to do, and I also have a reading to do with the same client. So I've got all my supplies together, and I'm going to pack that in the bag and get to going and doing what I got to do over there. Doing what I got to do over there. I also have some errands to run, so we're going to talk about this throughout all of that. So strap in, honey, grab your water bottles, and let's get all the way into it. Let's get all the way into it, okay? All right, y'all, I got my backpack with all my magic supplies. I got my smoke medicine, I got my water medicine, I got my oils, I got my tarot cards, I got everything I need to read somebody and to cleanse somebody. I've got my purse with my mask and everything I need. Side note, we've already talked about this on TikTok. Vaccinated or not, I'm probably going to be wearing a mask for the foreseeable future because y'all have proved how absolutely dirty and stinky you are. Also, I can no longer police my face. I'm definitely giving y'all the stank eye and the stank face up under that mask. This quarantine, I've lost the skill on how to police my face, and my feelings just show up in HD. So we're going to be wearing a mask for the foreseeable future. Hello, goodbye. So I got everything I need. It's time to get going and get to my clients. But before we do that, let's talk about what I mean when I say infantilization, okay? Let's talk about that. As you see from the title, as I've said in the previous clips, this is all about the fact that there are some people, skinny folks in particular, who like to infantilize themselves in order to demand, command, or receive labor from their fat friends. So before we get deeper into that aspect of it, let's establish some vocabulary common area, okay? So when I talk about infantilizing them, people infantilizing themselves, I talk about people assuming kind of an infancy around their friends, okay? This means, acting like they have less power than they do, acting like they're not as strong as they actually are, acting like they're not as capable or smart as they are, literally, dumbing down their power, intentionally dimming dimming their light, intentionally acting a little bit more helpless, intentionally acting like they can't think or they can't get through something. Like an infant. Think about what we do for infants. We care for them. We take care of all of their needs. We change your diaper, we feed them, we entertain them, we dress them, we comfort them, we soothe them. In that infant stage, an infant is taken care of at full capacity. So when I'm talking about someone, you know, acting like an infant, when I'm talking about someone performing infantilism, yes, I was hoping I didn't say infanticide. But when I'm talking about infantilism, I'm talking about someone who dims their light, who acts less than, who kind of regresses back to that infant or toddler or little girl or little boy or little person behavior, okay? So now that we established that, let me get to going where I need to go so we can get into the rest of this video. Adventures in being a working priestess. So I just got back from a successful session, a successful reading and spirit cleansing, aka soul reset, with a beautiful client of mine, and I'm feeling nice and directed and clear and grounded and ready to hop right on in to the rest of this video. So let's get into it, baby. Let's get into it. So now that we've established common ground in regards to vocabulary, aka what I mean when I talk about infantilization for the rest of this video, let's talk about what inspired this video. What inspired this video is the pandemic and the work and the lessons and the growing that I have received personally from the pandemic. One of the things that I am leaving this pandemic with is the urge, the desire to be a better friend, to be a better lover, to be a better community member, to be a better leader, to be a better teacher, to be a better me, to receive love, accept love, and give love better, okay? This pandemic has taken an awful lot of lives, and it has reinforced and reiterated, at least in my personal life, how valuable life is in general, but also how valuable my life is and how valuable the people around me are. I want to be a better person. I want to love better. I want to luxuriate in love. I want to give love. I want more love. I want to put out more love. I want to receive more love. I just want to root myself in love a lot more. With that lesson has come the task of healing around love. Healing the spaces in myself and with myself that hinder me from expressing my love to its fullest capacity. Healing the spaces in myself that has been damaged by so-called love, quote unquote love. You know, it might not have been love, but I thought it was love. This lesson has brought with it the task of examining how I want to be loved and if I'm being loved correctly in my life. And one of the things that I came to in that deep healing work that I've been doing for the past couple months in regards to love is the fact that I need the quality of my relationships to improve. I've already got good relationships, but I immediately recognized how I could show love, how I could be a better lover, how I could give love, how I could show up better in the spirit and the essence of love for my friends, for my family, for every part of my community, for future lovers, for future partners. And one of the things, also one of the lessons that I have gotten is the fact that, I don't know if I just said this, but it's the fact that I haven't been, there's places where I wasn't being loved well by a couple of people in my life. There's places where some relationships that in my life weren't fulfilling me. But due to my attachment to those relationships via history and nostalgia, I didn't see that those relationships weren't feeding me. I didn't see that those relationships weren't the best for me. I didn't see that those relationships weren't serving my highest good, or I wasn't serving the highest good of everybody involved in those relationships. This lesson, the deeper that I got into pursuing healing around that, this lesson became clearer and clearer. And it became clear to me that there was a couple of relationships, but one in particular, where I was being used as a tool, where I was being used as an accessory. Specifically when it came to my fatness. Specifically when it came to my fatness. Point blank and simple, there were some relationships that I was used for labor. I was used for my intellectual labor. I was used for my emotional labor. I was used for my spiritual labor. I was used for my physical labor. I was used for all of my labor, my artistic labor, for my inspirational labor, my joy labor. Yeah, and once I started sitting with that concept and I recognized that that's what's happening with some current relationships, I also begin to recognize and realize how this has been a theme in past relationships. Okay, so now let's get into the connection of how someone, specifically a skinnier person, infantilizing themselves in front of, around, and with their fat friends is a demand of labor. How that can translate into a demand of labor. So a couple months back, I remember I was talking to a friend, and they had a real challenging moment in their life. And they had a moment where they felt powerless, where they were made to feel powerless. And so when we were processing the moment and talking about the moment, they immediately came off. They started ranting and speaking with much passion about the fact that they weren't strong, that they weren't strong physically, that they weren't strong emotionally, that they weren't strong, that they were not a strong person, and that they required help, and that they needed basically they needed people around them, that they needed, because they weren't confident in the way that they could defend themselves. They weren't confident in the way that they could protect themselves. And this story came after I spoke to my own strength, when I spoke to getting through something, when I spoke to getting through something. So I did what I do as a friend and was as supportive and healing as I could be. Where they were open to advice, I offered it. Where they just needed support and encouraging words, I gave that. Okay, I gave that. But something about the way they were speaking to themselves in such a disparaging space really triggered something in me. It rubbed me wrong. It rubbed me wrong. They were very passionate and very strong in talking about and speaking to how they just weren't strong, how they just weren't capable of protecting themselves, how they lived in so much fear, how they needed so much support around that. Okay. And just the way they spoke, the words they used, how passionately they spoke about themselves, it just rubbed me the wrong way. And it made me pay attention a little bit closer to them and our interactions. As the months rolled past, I started noticing how they always kind of presented themselves in a space of weakness to me. They never I had rare times where they presented themselves in their fullness. I want to be clear that they live a regular life, and which requires you to be strong in many different ways. And they meet those challenges most days. They do have different personal struggles that they struggle with that sometimes does hinder and affect mental strength or physical strength, but they're not a weak person by any means, shape, or form. No, they're not a sumo wrestler or a bodybuilder. They don't have that kind of strength, but they're a strong person. They're strong mentally, emotionally, physically. They're strong. They're a strong person. But I noticed that so many times that they would speak to me, they would highlight their physical ailments. They would speak to how they are not emotionally strong. They would share all of these moments with me when they struggled. They shared all these moments with me when they needed encouragement. But moments where they were in their power weren't being shared with me often. Moments when they were standing in their glory weren't shared with me often. Those times that they did share those moments with me, it was a call for me to support them in that space, which I did. But those times happened farther and fewer between the ones where I was asked to support in some way, emotionally, spiritually, intellectually, mentally, holding space for them. Once I really started honing in on that, other things began to get clear. I began to notice this person's interactions with other people. And when they interacted with other people, whether they were teaching or performing or being friends with, they came in a very strong space. They presented in a very strong essence. They presented in a powerful space. They were in their power. And it tripped a trigger inside of me. It tripped a trigger inside of me. It tripped a trigger inside of me. And I started seeing how the people that they stood in their power with were not required to do the type of labor with them that I was required to. So the people who they were able to be in their full glory with on a regular basis, the people that they were able to stand in their power with, they weren't also the people who were getting the in-depth labor. They weren't the people who were doing the hardcore work of encouraging them when they were down. They weren't the people who got to see those aspects of them, who were required to put in hours worth of work in encouraging them or healing them or helping them or uplifting them or being that type of friend, being the friend who's in it with you in the muddy times. They weren't required to be that, but I was. You know, there's this quote, and I believe it's a Marilyn Monroe quote. I might be wrong. It's a long quote, but the essence of the quote is, there's a part of the quote that basically says, to paraphrase, if you can't handle me at my worst, you don't deserve me at my best. Okay? To flip that, I was left feeling like I had been there for this person at their worst. And I wasn't invited into their world when they were their best. And not only was I not invited into their world when they were their best, they weren't willing to come. They didn't want to come. They didn't want to be in my world. They didn't want to exist in my world at their best. They only needed me, wanted me, required me, liked me, called out for me when they needed me to do something. And knowing that I am a nurturing person, knowing that I am someone who does want to care for the people that I'm around, knowing that I will be a caretaker for my people if they need it, this knowledge was played on. And over the years, I have seen where they have become more and more infantile with the way that they present themselves and live themselves around me. And what this has caused me in the past to do is to give them my labor and not require any reciprocity, not require them to pay that labor back. Why wouldn't I require them to pay that labor back? Well, do you require infants to pay back labor that you give to them? You don't. Why don't you require infants to pay you back for the labor you give to them? Because they can't. This is why this kind of behavior is dangerous. This is why this type of behavior is dangerous. Stop infantilizing yourself with, to, and around your fat friends in order to demand their labor. Stop. Stop playing small. Stop playing dumb. Stop playing weak. Stop playing confused. Stop playing small in order to capitalize off of the labor of your fat friends. There are some of you who probably do this unconsciously, and there are some of you who probably do this consciously. And this is all rooted in fat phobia, which is encouraged by capitalism. Stop doing it. Because fat people, we don't deserve it. We are human. Our labor, all of our labor is valuable. And our labor should always be met with reciprocity. It should always be met with reciprocity. Stop doing this because it's unfair. It's dehumanizing. Fat people deserve the best of you. We deserve the best of your love, your kindness, your joy. We deserve the best of you. And we deserve your full humanity, just like y'all deserve our full humanity. Do not give us the worst of who you are. Do not give us the weakest of who you are. Do not give us the most dismal of who you are. And then offer your best parts, your best pieces, the best, the most powerful and glorious parts of you to other people. You don't deserve it, but most of all, we don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. We don't deserve it. Listen here. The labor and the love of fat people is valuable. The labor and the love of fat people is valuable. The life of fat people is valuable. Relationships with fat people are valuable. We are not tools. We are not pawns. We are not accessories to prop up your life, to make you feel better about the decisions you're making, to support you, to encourage your fat folk. We're not here to be props in your life movie. We're not here. I'm not your encouraging fat friend. I'm not your mammy trope. I'm not your joyous, magical fat friend. I'm not your strong fat friend who can lift tables and move your apartment by herself. I actually am that person, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not that fat person. I contain multitudes. And I was not born to serve y'all. I was not born to be anyone's doormat. I was not born to be a prop or an accessory to someone's life. I was not born to be an extra in your life movie. I wasn't. And neither was any other fat person. Stop infantilizing yourself. Stop making yourself smaller. Stop playing weaker in order to demand the physical labor of fat people. Oh, she's fat, he's fat, they're fat, they can carry that, they got that, they can do that, they don't need no help. Oh, she's just so warm and comforting, she gives the best advice, she reminds me of a mom. He's just so joyful, kind of like, so he reminds me of Santa Claus. Stop. 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 If you need labor from us, then ask directly and clearly, and be prepared to offer reciprocity, because it's the right thing to do, because it's the human thing to do. Dear fellow fat friends, let's talk about how you spot someone who is infantilizing themselves in order to use, access, and demand your labor. In no particular order. Number one, beware of people who only share themselves with you when they are at their lowest, when they are at their weakest. Beware of people who only show you authentic, genuine versions of themselves when they are the most disempowered. Beware of people who never have anything to share with you, who never have anything to ask of you unless they are struggling. Unless they have a problem, they need your support or wisdom or energy to help deal with. Beware of that. Beware of that. Beware of that. Beware of people who outside of you have the strongest, most vibrant personalities, but when they're with you, they are at their lowest. They never can share joyous space with you. They never call you for celebratory things. They never call you for beautiful moments in their life that require no labor from you. Beware, beware, beware of those people. Beware of people who sick you on people. Beware of people who take advantage of your personality, especially if you have a personality that is prone to protect, that is prone to be loyal. Beware of people who only call you when someone has messed with them, when someone has been bothering them, when someone has been bullying them, when someone has been hurting them. Beware of people who only call you to help you defend them when they are going through trauma and strife and struggle, but they never call you. They are nowhere to be seen when they are celebrating victories, when they are celebrating good things that are happening in their life, when they have extra energy or money or love or beauty or whatever extra they have to give, and they're not giving that to you. Beware of those types of people. Beware of the types of people who are constantly, who are constantly bemoaning how messed up, how fucked up, how not good they are, how they are not strong, how you are so strong and they are not strong, how you are so intelligent and they are not intelligent, how you are so capable and they are not capable, how you got it together and they don't got it together, how you need their help, they wouldn't survive without you, they wouldn't make it without you, but at the same space, in the same breath, you have been making it without them. You don't require their assistance and their help. You don't require their words of encouragement, in part due to the fact that they won't give it, they don't have it to give. Beware of those types of people. Beware of those types of people. Beware of those types of people. And lastly, beware of people who fetishize your fatness. Beware of people who put you in boxes. Mammy boxes, fat inspirational boxes, you are a prop to my life boxes. Beware of those people who put you in boxes based on your fatness. Beware. Beware of people who are strong everywhere else but not strong with you. Beware of people who do not make the smaller people in their life hold as many bags, as much weight as you. Beware of those type of people, because those type of people may be utilizing their infantileness, utilizing their becoming an infant in order to capitalize, in order to take advantage of, in order to demand your labor, your emotional labor, your physical labor, your mental labor, your artistic labor, your art, all of the labor. Beware of these types of people. Also realize that the tips that I just gave include everything I said, but are not limited to everything I just said. All right, y'all, I'm back home after running all these errands, and it's time to finish the rest of this video. So let's get into it. Beware of people who celebrate your fatness privately but not publicly. Beware of people who uplift your fat image with you but nowhere on their social media, nowhere in their speech, nowhere in any other aspect of their life do they uplift fat people like you. Beware of people. Beware of people. Beware of people like that. Dear fellow fat people, we are beautiful. We are lovely. We matter. Your labor, my labor, our labor, from the emotional, spiritual, physical space, to the mental, artistic, inspirational space, to the ancestral, to the community, to the personal space. Our labor and our love is valuable. We don't deserve to be treated like tools or accessories. If you find that there is someone in your life that is leveraging, that is making themselves smaller, that is infantilizing themselves in order to keep you in their life for labor, X them out. Be empowered to remove them from your life because you are worth so much more. To the smaller people, to the small fats, to the skinny people, to anyone who is out here in the streets and you are abusing the labor and the love of fat women, fat men, fat non-men, fat people in general, I pray you see this and you begin your journey into deep healing. Because not only are you disrespecting yourself, you're disrespecting the fat people you are dealing with. Stop. Stop. Full stop. Stop infantilizing yourself in order to demand or command or coerce the labor from fat black women, from fat indigenous women, from fat indigenous non-men, from fat black non-men, from fat black people, from fat indigenous people, from fat people in general. Stop demanding our free labor. Stop not paying us, not offering reciprocity for the energy we give to you. Stop acting like we are a tool, a prop, or an accessory to your skinny life. Stop. We are human, and we deserve respect and love, reciprocity, and reparations. Stop infantilizing yourself. Stop making yourself smaller. Stop acting like you're not strong. Stop perpetuating this image of weakness. Stop infantilizing yourself in order to demand, in order to command, in order to take, in order to steal, in order to usurp the energy, the love, and the labor of black, fat people. Stop. All right, y'all. And that's that on that. If you made it to the end of this video, gold star for you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your time and your attention is valuable. So thank you for any little part of that you spent with me. I appreciate, I adore, and I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you like what I'm doing, if you like what you see, if you're feeling this, and if you're feeling me, make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notifications bell so you can keep up with all of these here shenanigans. Now, just in case no one has told you today, you, yes you looking at this, are so beautiful. You are so divine, and you are a gift, a gift, a gift to this planet. Thank you for everything you've survived. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. Thank you for your likes, and thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Now, you going off and have a good day. Have a good morning, have a good night, have a good evening, have a good afternoon, have a good middle of the night, have a good whenever you encounter this video. And I will see you in the next one. This is your favorite Auntie Captain Goddess, LadySpeech, signing off. And I'll see you again. Peace.